hope you are as excited as I am. My name is Livia Vanida, and in the next few minutes, we'll be exploring the intriguing world of Introduction to Business English. Introduction to Business English. Teaching English has undergone a significant shift in the past 20 years, especially with the communicative revolution in the mid-1970s. Business English, which emerged as a course program and learning objective in the late 1970s, has been shaped by various influences from both ELT English language teaching and non-ELT world. Each course content reflects the diverse needs of various learners groups, ranging from students to working professionals, and its pedagogical approach is influenced by the learning experience of learners, ranging from general education to specially designed management training. Business English teaching brings significant contribution from first, ELT methodologies that teach language knowledge and language skill in various business contexts through communicative activities. Second, communication training that develop the effectiveness of the total communication process by considering message in terms of form and delivery. Third, management discipline that provides professional content on key areas. Next, English teaching combines three areas. First, teaching pedagogical skill involved in running training programs. Second, English language knowledge of the language, and more rationally an understanding of the role of communication in professional situations. Third, business skills familiarity with key issues faced by specific learners of learner group. Each of these areas develop in its own way. New teaching approaches bring training ideas such as facilitation and moderation. Language change introduce new forms. Communication adapt to evolving behavioral standard and technology. And business both initiates and respond to changing practice. Overall, this menu provides a rich mix, serving as a starting point for exploring the scope of business English and the range of skills needed by business English teachers. And for every practitioner, the challenge lies in blending the dynamic between first personal and humanistic approach of each teacher in teaching. Second, knowledge to be acquired by learners. Third, skill to be developed by learners. So, business English varies greatly. The course content reflects the needs of its user. Course developed reflect the personal style of its practitioner. Learning and teaching objective of business English: accuracy, fluency, and effectiveness. The recent history of ELT can be divided into two periods: the pre-communicative era and the post-communicative era. Before 1975, the emphasis in language teaching largely focused on developing knowledge of language form in terms of grammar and vocabulary, identified through linguistic analysis. These elements were then incorporated into teaching programs and course materials. Students learned about language rather than how to ask it. The mid-70s communicative revolution clearly established fluency as the primary goal of language teaching and training. Grammar exercises were replaced by communicative revolution. Accuracy was sacrificed for fluency. The battle cry was let the students speak at all costs. One might be forgiven for thinking that the accuracy versus fluency debate would remain the focus, however, in ESP, English for Specific Purpose. Another dimension was identified, namely effectiveness, making it a three-way battle. In the red corner, we have accuracy, which claims that without correct use of language form, the result will be flawed. In the blue corner, we have fluency, which claims that if you can speak, somehow you will be able to convey your message. And in the green corner, we have effectiveness, which claims that it is the total performance, linguistic and non-linguistic, that determines the success or failure of communication. The fluency versus effectiveness versus accuracy debate deserve little attention because, in my opinion, they are separate areas. The reasons are as follows. Firstly, all native speakers are normally fluent in their mother tongues. However, they do not all become effective communicators. Therefore, fluency, the goal of communicative language teaching, will not always lead to effectiveness. Similarly, among non-native speakers, some rank quite high on the fluency scale but much lower on the effectiveness scale. Therefore, fluency is not the same as effectiveness. Secondly, all educated native speakers can construct correct sentences in their mother tongues in terms of grammar and vocabulary. However, this linguistic accuracy does not automatically lead to effectiveness in communication. The same applies to non-native speakers. I have taught many students who have very good knowledge of linguistic form but who would not be considered effective communicators. On the other hand, there are natural communicators who break the rules of language, yet succeed in conveying convincing and effective message. Therefore, accuracy is not the same of effectiveness. My conclusion is that we have three different elements or skill: accuracy, fluency, and effectiveness, as shown in the diagram on the previous page, and it is important for us to decide which to focus on in a particular training course. Scope of business English. In the previous section, we examined the various objectives of a business English program. It might be deemed unconventional to look at why before looking at what. But this approach highlights the need to maintain a clear focus on learners and their reason for embarking on the instructional program. Alongside learning objective, we have two main elements as building block for course design and a number of minor strengths. Language knowledge reflects formal aspects of grammar, vocabulary, and sound system. In communication, we activate this knowledge to convey message through different channels, such as presentation, meeting, telephone, or in written document, such as correspondence or reports. Language knowledge reflects what one knows about language. Communication skill reflect what one knows about how to use that language. Together, they are powerful instruments in assessing overall competence. A valid scope of our pedagogic activities as business English trainers is to design and deliver courses aimed at enhancing language knowledge and developing communication skills. Similarly, when dealing with marketing issues, business English trainers are not aiming to teach about marketing. Providing training in professional content is the role of management consultant, not language trainers. However, there is a need for business English trainer to know something about professional content, and this is further discussed in chapter 2 dealing with professional content. Management skill. Managers manage a marketing manager marketing, and a production manager manages production. Although we can divide the content of marketing and production, the specific activities of management are less clearly defined. The history of management shows that different periods have focused on different skills. However, within the Kenging network of management activities, four areas stand out from time to time: planning, leading, organizing, controlling. The current spotlight on manager attention suggests that two areas are considered key to successful management: leadership to inspire and motivate colleagues, and subordinates team building to harness the synergy of individuals from different disciplines and specialization. And at the heart of effective leadership and team building is communication. Culture awareness. Culture refers to the values shared by a group of people. Although culture traditionally is seen and analyzed at the national level, other groups clearly share beliefs, behaviors, and other characteristics. A set of shared values can be seen at the level of company department team. Shared values are an important factor in achieving the unity of members, thus improving their performance. At the end of the 20th century, as national boundaries collapsed amid increasing global business, companies that had established solid value and principle foundation seemed better prepared to provide a secure framework for their employees and an environment in which they could flourish. And at the heart of every entity with a strong positive culture is open and effective.